Two-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Big D Energy. Right here on the Woodward Sport Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. Sam Flannel in for D-Mac. We got an A squad in here, though, in the booth. Broder on sound today.
Let's go, boys!
Did you go to sleep last night?
Barely.
Barely?
Barely. About an hour and 20 minutes.
You all hopped up on Mountain Dew right now?
Hopped up on Mountain Dew.
All right, I like it, though,
Let's
Broder.
go.
Good work out of you yesterday. We're going to get into all that. KG is in the house. He moves over a chair to the producer's chair.
Hey, this is what I do, man. I got that versatility, you know?
That's what I'm saying. He's a guard. He's a center. Can play tackle in a pinch. The Graham Glasgow of Woodward Sports. Flannel,
Yo,
did you get any sleep?
I
None
very
of us
little,
did, right?
but,
Yep.
but that's all right. I still come in. I'm a pro, and you know the funny thing about these type of events are obviously it was great for the city, but even just being with all of you guys, it's like very good team building because all of us are running on fumes. Not just one of us, all of us, but we're all so happy to be here at the same time. There's nowhere I'd rather be, even if I have to do it on less than optimal sleep.
No, absolutely. Let's go Red Wings Sparty. All KG does is produce. He's the El Mago of Woodward Sports Network.
Let's not compare me to El Mago,
KG is
but-
back, everybody. KG is back.
Never left, baby. Let's
Yes.
go.
Freddie Felt 313. Neal, I tagged you on Insta. I stood on business when JJ was drafted. Booed the ish out of him. We run the North. Roar. So there's that. We're gonna get to all of it. There's no show sheet. We don't need any of that ish today.
Right. Freestyle.
There's a freestyle show. We're
Freestyle
doing it
Fridays.
Absolutely. And we're gonna get in. We're gonna get into the Lions pick. We're going to get into all of it, no doubt about that. But the Terrion Arnold era has begun here in Detroit. I want to talk about him. I want to talk about the stage presence. But before we do any of that, I talked about it on the draft show last night. Shout out to everybody that watched it. We were live at the 313 draft party. Flannel, I do want to start with this. I do want to talk about my city. I want to talk about our city. I want to talk about Detroit because I have never seen that amount of people gathered in one spot before in my life. I've never seen that, Flannel. I've never seen the streets like that before. I've never seen, and more than that, Flannel, us, the Lions fans, our people, the way we were yesterday. It was such a great environment, man. There were families out there with kids, and guess what? It was cool. There were idiot Bears fans, and I just say idiots because they root for the Bears. But it was cool. It provided some of it. We got some of the footage with the Packer fans a little bit later on. Bills fans. I didn't see him jump through one table yesterday. But Flannel, I'm just saying, man, like, we did this yesterday.
Everything was extraordinarily good-natured, as you said, with all of the opposing fans, because there's obviously going to be a little bit of ish talk, but it was all friendly. It was all in celebration because every fan of, like, the fans of the teams that were there, they all have the same hope that the Lions do, maybe to a different degree, but that's what the draft is. Who are they going to get? Are they going to get the player that's going to flip their respective franchise? And also, when it comes to the amount of people that were gathering, I couldn't agree with you more, man. It was a movie. Just walking down, even before I got to our area, it was just incredible to see everybody walking around. Everybody was having fun. Like you said, you saw people in Bills jerseys. You saw people in Chiefs jerseys, 49ers, Packers, Vikings. It was just an extraordinarily fun event. But you also saw the majority of them in Lions gear. And that just shows you that if you put on an event like this,
We will show out.
100%. If you put on an event like this, especially following the season where the Lions had their best, arguably their best season in the Super Bowl era, the Lions will own this town. Nobody on the Lions will have to pay for a drink for the rest of their lives. I mean, it's just one of those type of cities where we love the Lions. It's going to be one of the great football towns in America moving forward for many years. It already was. There just wasn't a good team to really galvanize everybody like this.
No, absolutely. And look, again, I brought this up yesterday, but it still remains because I still get goosebumps. Like when KG puts that picture up there, all the blue and 275,000 people, man. And this is what it was supposed to be, right? And you can talk about like stadium financing and civic issues and all that kind of stuff. But when they put the teams downtown and they built all the stadiums around that little corridor, that's what made this happen. It did. And look, we'll talk about that another day. All right? I'm not here to talk about that right now. But that was it. Our city, man, like Detroit, you know how we get mocked all the time and stuff like that, and people always run with the ruin porn and all that kind of stuff. Run with that. Because that's the photo now. That's the narrative of Detroit, man. And this is our city, dude. And we put on, we showed out, we did everything, and that sea of blue, again, flannel, like I do, like the hair on my arm is standing up right now talking about, because this is what it was always supposed to be when they built Comerica Park down there. And you remember, too, like, that was just empty area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was just empty area. And now it's from that to a quarter to a third of a million people downtown for the draft, dude. And I love that this was us. I love that that's the narrative. I love it, man.
It changed a lot of hearts and minds because, as you said, there were people who came to this city without a shadow of a doubt who had never been to Detroit before, especially if you're a fan of a team and you came in from, say, I don't know, Tampa or somewhere like that. You've probably never been to Detroit. You've probably heard some not so savory things about it. Maybe you were a little bit tuned into the fact that Detroit was coming back, but these people who had never been here before got to see it with their own eyes for the first time. This is a perception changer. If this becomes the record for attendance, and it certainly will, especially if the fans show out for the next couple of games, that's a perception changer. That changes a lot of narratives about the city of Detroit. And also the fact that they've been able to put this on. They had everything set up for, I think, everybody who wanted to be there comfortably, to be able to move around and everything. And I'm sure they all have more places to stay now from people who are out of town. Detroit is in... You hear about what it was like way back in the day. And I'm not saying that it's ever going to get back to that, but this is a golden age for Detroit. It's the beginning
Facts.
of a golden age.
No, you're absolutely 100% right. So, again, as a lifelong Detroiter, my parents worked in the car factories, all that kind of stuff. The rise of Detroit, the fall of Detroit. Make no mistake, it is a golden age. It is on the rise, and I love that. I love how we were. KG, the people in the streets yesterday, man. Everyone put it on their shoulders.
They did.
Real talk. Like, no bullshit here, guys. And if you didn't go, and I'll say this too, shout out to Stick, by the way, but just publicly shout out to Stick for, working it and getting us down there. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not going to lie to you guys, if I wasn't working it, I might not have gone down there just because you hear a 250,000 people, third of a million people.
Right.
I'm a draft geek. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That is the best time I've ever had going to the city, the most proud I've ever been in my city.
Yeah.
And KG, good ups on the people too, man, because every single person that was in that street wore that yesterday and took it personal.
No, most definitely. And I was never really worried. I know you jokingly was kind of like, I hope things don't go wrong.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of people's sentiment, man. And I didn't necessarily like that because I felt like this was always Detroit. We were just waiting to really showcase it and put the world on notice that we are a very respectable city. We always have been.
Like when the Super Bowl was here, it went off well.
Yeah.
It did. And Detroit's got, I hope that this shows too that the Super Bowl can be here, which it has been here before. There's been multiple Final Fours. You can do big. I know the weather sucks. Like I know it got cold last night, even in springtime. But with all that being said, I hope that is a springboard for it. And again,
it will be. Shout
out to the Detroit Sports Commission. We're going to get somebody on from there next week because I'm curious, how do you pull all this together and make it go so smooth? And the out-of-town people talked about how clean the city was. I had conversations. There's only one problem that I ran into last night at the end of the night. Only one. Why'd the bars all close at like midnight?
I have no idea.
Come on.
It's weird. Everything open till 2 here.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Now, I will say this, though. I came across a Buffalo Bills fan, shocker, who they went by a bar. There were people like coming out of it, but it was closed. You know, they had called last call.
Yeah.
And he's like, what is it with this city? All the bars are closed at midnight. And I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? For the sake of those people that have been working there all day,
Right.
that just had the busiest day of their lives, I don't think they need a Buffalo Bills fan in there, you know, who's been on it for 13 hours.
Yeah.
That just needs one more. You know what? In the end, I guess, maybe it was good they were closed.
Yeah, and I did a lot of exploring in the early afternoon, and you came across multiple bars who opened early just for this day, as you should, because why wouldn't you? You're going to get a lot of great business. And I think at some point, especially given how busy they were and all that they had to deal with, the wonderful employees of these establishments, I'm sure that they had enough by midnight. So
No doubt. Especially to have Buffalo Bill fan walk in the door.
And
no one needs that.
And me personally, there is no way in the darkest, darkest depths of hell that I would have gone to a bar after that experience last night. I was done.
I was going to stop in for one.
Hey,
I was
look
going to
at you,
stop
Neal.
in for one,
You're
know, but they were all closed. But hey, whatever, man. It was a great day for Detroit. That's the sentiment that I want to get to. We're getting into it, everybody. Terrion Arnold, certainly we will give the thoughts on there. And Cody Engel says, yeah, Neal, Greenwich had last call at 11:30 p.m. It was odd. I just think that the people were cooked, man.
Yeah, they were.
They were cooked.
And everybody made their money, you know.
Again, they made their money to the point where to get that money at the end and have to deal with Buffalo Bills fans, they made an economic decision.
Yeah.
They were like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Right.
Let's just send Buffalo Bill fan back to the hotel and try it again tomorrow.
We can't
everybody.
handle the drunk Bills fan jumping through a table in here. Like
Yes.
we're cooked.
Salty pork chops. Neal, do you think Holmes trades the second for a third and a fourth? We could get Zinter and a wide receiver. No, I don't. We'll get into that, though. We'll do the Terrion Arnold thing. We'll take a look at what's out there, what could fall to the Lions. I want to spin around our division. I want to spin around the NFC because we got to start to think about this now.
Sure.
Because Terrion Arnold could be the piece that puts it over the top.
100%.
That's the space we're in right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For real. Like, that's the space that we're in right now. All right, Flannel, tell them about Dispo. We'll get it going. Before we do that, however, Burn, Neal, as someone who worked in the restaurant biz, they needed to close at midnight because they still have Friday and Saturday and Mother's Day coming up. No doubt, Burn. Like, it's up against it, man.
Yeah.
No question about it. And to be fair, I would turn away Buffalo Bills fan as well. Tell them about Dispo.
Visit Dispo Dispensary today for deals too good to miss. Meet a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere and shopping experience. Try the freshest inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. Come through our stores or order on Dispo Dash today. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Buying your first Feldman Chevrolet is much more than buying the car that will get you from point A to point B. It's a place for first memories, some big, some small. As she grows, you're not just buying her a Chevy, you're buying into a Feldman family. With more than 700,000 vehicles sold, from generation to generation, Feldman just keeps rolling.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Guys, look, when you have an accident, let's get serious about this. You need a lawyer more than any other time in your life. You may as well take the #1 overall draft pick. Of course, that is Feiger Law. 1-800-A-WINNER. Again, 1-800-A-WINNER. Get a winner on your side. Feiger Law. All we do is win. All right, we are off and running. Big D Energy, Neal Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for DMAC. We got Matt Broder. We got KG as well. Just some reaction before we get into the Terrion Arnold thing. Jeff Reviews says we should have an NBA All-Star weekend. More than capable of pulling it off.
Yeah.
If you pulled this off, you can pull anything off. Danny G, Arnold is easily the best corner in this draft. Crazy clown. As soon as Neal was catching a buzz, the bars closed. I know, right? Like, come on. Come on. All right, Flannel, let's get into it. Brad Holmes makes the deal. He trades a third-round pick to the Dallas Cowboys for their first-round pick and actually was able to move up into the draft to get Terrion Arnold. And, Flannel, when you look at it, just kind of moving from where they moved from 29 on down to 24. But again, the total package, because I feel like it's being misrepresented a little bit, they went from 29 to 24. They gave up a third-round pick. The Lions got back a seventh-round pick. So that's the total trade value. In a day and age, by the way, where more sixth and seventh-round picks are playing ever in the history of the NFL. The draft chart says maybe it was a bit of an overpay, and get your thoughts in there in the Woodward Sports chat thread. But Flannel, I'll say this. Like, for the draft chart people, which we use it as a tool, I just think you look at it from the standpoint of they had a chance to get the best corner in the draft, and they wanted to make sure that they got it done. That was their spot.
Yeah, and I just want to get this out of the way so that people don't accuse me of flip-flopping. Terrion Arnold wasn't my favorite corner of the ones available. However, Brad Holmes has forgotten way more about football than I'll ever know. So I'm going to choose to support and look at the things I like about Terrion Arnold, because there certainly are many, and he certainly has a high upside. My thought process with it all is that this cornerback room, as constructed before Terrion Arnold was added to the picture, was the type of cornerback room, although not terrible, and although there is some promise if a lot of things go right, could actually prevent this team from reaching their ceiling and winning the Super Bowl. And that's why I'm glad that they got Terrion Arnold. I think Brad Holmes understands that things are a little bit different when you have to pay an Amon-Ra St. Brown and pay a Penei Sewell and presumably pay Jared Goff. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he made the deals that he did. But there are the part of the GMing job that Brad Holmes is going to have to adjust to now is all of these great draft picks that he's made, who he keeps, who he pays, and it's going to make things a little harder moving forward, I think, to maintain sustained success, because all of those rookie contracts are phenomenal, but they're not always going to be able to be on rookie contracts. So I think, to me, it's very imperative that the Lions realize, and I think they do, that they could win the Super Bowl this year. Their Super Bowl window is now, and Terrion Arnold, I think he could be an upgrade over what they have. As I've said with their secondary room, there's a lot of questions. Carlton Davis, can he play 17 games? Recent history says no. Amik Robertson, is he a 17-game outside starter? Probably not. Emmanuel Mosley, will he ever effectively be an NFL player again? Who knows? 2 ACLs is tough. Kindle Vildor is Kindle Vildor. Brian Branch is more of a slot guy. So getting a guy like Terrion Arnold, who I'm not going to say that he shut down half the field, but when he was tested, I will give him this. When he was tested,
rose to the occasion.
He made more plays than he gave up. Did he give up a few? Did he get burned a few more times than I would like? Sure.
And Flannel, right there,
Yes.
I'm going to cut you off for just 1 second. Like, the whole Cooper DeJean crowd, right? They need to understand that. Because when you are playing in the SEC, look at the quarterbacks that are in the SEC. It's a different football game than what you see up here in the Big Ten. It just is. So when you look at it from that perspective, he's not sitting there hiding in his zone. Mm-hmm. He's a cornerback for Alabama, going up against arguably the best conference quarterbacks in college football on a day in, week out basis. You are going to give up plays when you are on the island. You just are. But, as you said, that's the key. He took away more than he gave up.
Out of all the cornerbacks in this draft, in terms of what they did this year, Terrion Arnold had the most interceptions. He had the most, I would say, ball hawking moments this year. And that's one of the important characteristics. An interception and taking the football away is one of the most important things you can do on defense. Probably the most important thing. So that's why some of his, I would say, times where he was burned, he more than made up for it. And another thing about Terrion Arnold, and I just want to get this out there really, really quickly, because everybody knows I'm a big PFF guy, and I've also watched a lot of Alabama games. Metrically, there's not a cornerback in this draft that is better graded as a run defender. And you see when you watch him, he's not afraid to stick his nose in there and make some tackles and just like lay the wood. And here's the thing about the Lions defense, and I know I'm being a little long-winded, but even last year, even with some guys who struggled at other aspects, you had many players who were abnormally high graded as run defenders versus what else they did.
They were one of, if not the best rush defense in the National Football League. Like, that's a thing.
Yes, Jack Campbell was, Derek Barnes was, Brian Branch was, Kirby Joseph, Kendall Vildor, John Kaminsky, Josh Pascal, Aleem McNeil. These are all guys that were higher graded as run defenders than anything else that they did. And it all added up to an elite run defense. So do I think that played a role in Brad Holmes making that pick? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
100%. Well, and it does play a role in his value.
Absolutely it does.
And I do want to shout out this too. Our Lions beat reporter / sound guy today, Matt Broder. Look, I know you took some heat on social media from some folks, but you stood on business. You got your reports. You ran with it. You trusted the people you talked to, and look at to quote Al Pacino in Scarface. Look at you now, man. you were one of the few in this town that had it and had it right. So kudos to you.
Appreciate that. It's such a perfect fit from the player and the person standpoint. Once it gets past 18, which was that number where I put, that's where the Lions may consider moving up and going and getting him. The value he becomes the BPA and a position of need at 24.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you, too, because you helped me out with that last night when I was doing the show, because once I got to 18, that's when I kind of dropped the draft chart into the show, and we started cooking, and we had hey, to get to 18, you got to give up a second. You going to do it? And the people, remember the people were split?
Yeah, they were.
They were split. But when you get to 20, 21, 22, that price falls to a third. And that was when, and that's why, like, through all this, right? With Brad Holmes, I honestly believe this, and I don't know. I haven't talked to him. He had a line in the sand where he was prepared to go in. He had his guy circled. He had his price circled, and that's where it was. And he got both of them. And when the time was there, it struck. Brent Keach says, slight overpay, but we also got the best corner, so I can't hate it. CT Squid, F the chart. We got our future CB1. MPWMU, Arnold is mid. Mitchell was the pick. MPWMU, Quinium Mitchell. Look.
Uh-oh. Y'all done got him started.
And I didn't do this.
Yep.
For the record.
Get your shit off.
When I watch film and I see him grabbing every MAC wide receiver on every clip that I see of him making plays, and the only picks I see are him picking off Rocky Lombardi, I'm sorry, WMU. It doesn't do it for me. No disrespect to the MAC. The MAC, I like MAC football. There's no bigger champion for Tuesday night MACtion than me. I love it. I'm in, bro. Like, it's not hate. I'm just telling you what I saw, man, because that's what I saw. And I saw the games just like Sam Flannel saw the games. The Terrion Arnold move, that was the play. And it's Brad Holmes' guy. So immediately I'm in. But real quick, just for S's and G's, man, let's take a look at the draft chart then, shall we?
Yeah.
Because from where Detroit was at 29, there's about 100 point difference in quote value. And guys, remember, this isn't the Bible. This isn't Sam's PFF. I'm not going to live on I'm not going to die on the sword for this. It's just a guideline to give you a feel. And it was a very, very fun tool last night to work with. The Lions pick in the third round, which was 73 overall that they traded, right? Had a 225 point value rating to it. Remember, I think that's why the Cowboys threw in the seventh. Mm-hmm. It's like seventh round picks they have no value on the draft chart. I think the draft chart's outdated though for that, because check the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl winning roster and tell me that 6th and 7th round picks don't matter.
Pacheco. Yeah.
But I digress. I move on. So was it a little bit of a slight overpay? The chart, yes. But how about this, guys? Humor me for a minute here. Broder, where did the people think that Terrion Arnold was going to go? For real.
Top 14.
Top 14.
Some top 12.
So I'll humor me. I'll say 15, right? Here's where it changes. And here's why it's not a slight overpay to me or I think to Brad Holmes. If you got your number 15 guy in the draft And again, you consult the chart. Lions pick value 640. The number 15 pick, Indianapolis, 1,050. Now it becomes a value with what they did. You see, like, and this is nuance I try to work with you on, Sam Flannel. Like when you tell me AD's great, and then I look at him at the podium yesterday, just looking disinterested. Looked like he had a Soroki's T-shirt on, for Christ's sake. But anyway, here's the nuance of it, Flannel. He's operating in that space where I just got the 15th best prospect in this draft, and it fell to me, and I got I bet this, and I'll never know. I bet you Brad Holmes thinks he got a value to the draft chart people.
Of course, I'm sure he was surprised that Terrion Arnold fell. Honestly, if you're Brad Holmes, he probably had some backup plans because, as you said, Broder,
he had a backup plan to the backup plan. Make no mistake.
100%, because banking on Terrion Arnold to fall that far, that's not a winning move. However, he actually did.
Yeah.
And the Lions actually got him. The cornerback, like I said before, the position that I think was the weakest on the team in terms of preventing them from winning the Super Bowl this year was the cornerback position. And they just upgraded. And Terrion Arnold's the type of guy that, you know what I think about him? I think Terrion Arnold is the type of cornerback, given his upside, given his athleticism, but still some technique traits that you'd want to clean up a little bit. I'm thinking that a guy like Aaron Glenn, who was a former defensive back in the NFL, is looking at a guy like Terrion Arnold and just being like, I can mold this guy. I can sure up this guy's technique and make him that Pro Bowl cornerback one someday. Because he's got so much ability. They've been
waiting for him since they didn't take Devon Witherspoon at 6 last year.
Pretty
Since
much.
he went to the Seahawks, he was like, all right, I'm getting Gibbs and I'm getting Arnold next year. I maybe not that much of a stretch.
I'm getting N. Arnold next year.
Exactly. And they paid 2 third-rounders for their starting outside corners. That's a pretty good value to me.
No doubt about it. WoodwardSports.com chat thread, jump into there. DNC ENT, bro, your draft chart is way off. It's not close to accurate. DNC ENT, show me your chart then. Where you have the chart Bible then, right? Like this is Corinthians, round 1. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, DNC ENT, there is no 100% accurate draft chart. It's an idea. And by the way, it seemed accurate as hell last night. KG, you were doing the show.
Yeah.
We had it play by play.
It's more accurate than a lot of people's mock drafts.
That's what. Thank you.
I got you.
Thank you for that.
You know I got you.
We kind of predicted this, did we not?
We
Go
did.
back and watch the show.
We did.
Almost 20,000 of you watched it last night. Go back and watch the clips. We kind of, Broder brought this to the forefront.
Yeah.
I just kind of ran with it from there. But again, that's like when I talk about the financials, Flannel. It gives you a rough estimate of a direction. And that's what it was. Once your eyes are open to it, you can never unsee it.
I was just going to say that those draft charts, they remind me a bit of a SPOTRAC average annual value, or like estimated average annual value, or estimated value. It's the best guideline you have up until you see what actually happens. Sometimes they're way off, but sometimes they're spot on. And I would say more often than not, they're pretty accurate gauges, or at least stuff that's worthy to start conversations that aren't going to be outlandish. So yeah, I definitely appreciate your use of that, especially given the fact that the Lions actually did trade up.
No, absolutely. So let's do this then. Let's take a break. We'll get more into it. As a matter of fact, I do want to take a spin around the division. I do want to take a look at the draft nationally, some winners, some losers. I guess you can do that great bit as well. Hey, Woodward Sports has a new morning show, everybody. That is right. Wake Up Woodward.
Right.
Is it still Wake Up Woodward if you all don't go to bed?
I guess
that's the question. But anyway, hey, wake up or stay up Woodward at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Maybe you were out on a bender last night. You're just getting back in. Cozy up there. Kool-Aid Flannel Sam, Broder KG, JB Smooth, the absolute legend. They're doing it 8 to 10 a.m. on Woodward Sports Network. I don't know if you need more evidence of this, but we are Detroit's #1 sports network. Shout out to all nearly 20,000 of you that watched the draft show last night. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank you for that. And every morning, wake up Woodward.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The new glorious Ice Water Bubble Hash pre-roll, now with diamonds, constantly pushing to create the best cannabis experience. The perfect boost comes from the added touch of pure THC diamond dust, allowing flower with only the highest terps, making the best even better. Glorious Cannabis, check us out at your local retailer or gloriouscanna.com.
All right, Big D Energy, NFL Draft wrap-up. Neal, Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for DMAC. We got Broder, we got KG. Don't forget, we're back at it tonight downtown, right?
Yeah,
yes, absolutely. I'm sad I'm going to have to miss this. I got to fly down to Florida for work, so I'm sad I'm going to miss that. But, again, the best draft coverage in the city is happening right here on Woodward Sports Network. Make no mistake about that. You know, the other networks, they're going to have the Tigers game on. I'm just saying. So,
no offense.
No offense. I mean, they're contractually obligated to carry it. So if you want draft coverage, I guess we're the only spot for it then, aren't we? So,
Zing!
Just telling you what the facts are. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Don't worry, Mike G. I'm going to save this one. We'll get to the J.J. McCarthy stuff. Don't you? I'm opening up a new window. I'm saving that one. I've highlighted it specifically, so don't worry. But yeah, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jump in to there. Adis 411. Arnold will probably throw out the first pitch. Yeah, they do. They will be doing that. Certainly, no question about it. But let me see. The away fan. Honest question. Why doesn't the team that hosts the draft go pick the player? NHL has every GM at the city making picks. Why is that? The away fan, because the NFL draft has now become a spectacle. It's a reality TV show. It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's an availability to push narratives. It's all that stuff, man. Like it's a carnival. Like the NFL draft has become a carnival, and it's cool though. They did do a good job. Ryan's reaction, fine, Neal. I guess I'll watch WSN draft coverage. Well, Ryan, I know you were watching it last night too, so I know you're joking. I know you're joking with that.
Neal, how about next year? It's in Green Bay, right?
Yes, it is.
And it'll be on a Thursday night.
Yes, it will be.
And the Green Bay Packers fans in Milwaukee don't always make it up to Green Bay on Thursday nights. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of Honolulu Blue.
There probably will be.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going to stay because there's literally only 4 hotels in Green Bay.
True.
Literally 4.
It's a crazy thing that an NFL football franchise exists in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yes.
When you really look at it, it's a town of about 120,000 people or something like that. I might be undershooting it a little bit, but
and
still.
they've been successful. Yuck.
Yeah.
Yuck.
I get it. KG.
Yeah.
Terry and Arnold.
Yes. I called it. Let's just put it out there.
Terry and Arnold. Looks like a real draft pick.
He does.
Did you see him grab the microphone like he was holding court yesterday?
Yeah.
I was not familiar with his swag game.
Yeah, no, he got some swag to him for sure. Look at this suit. I still got to pull up Caleb Williams, but look at this suit. I'm going to try and take the audio off.
This is a real draft ensemble right there.
Look at that suit.
That's a real draft ensemble right there. Suit game is strong. Terry and Arnold was about it last night.
Yeah.
As opposed to Caleb Williams.
Shout out Jenna Trotman.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Former colleague.
As opposed to Caleb Williams, who looked like he was going to the Met Gala after the NFL draft. Your thoughts, Flannel? Yeah, I know you're a big fashion connoisseur.
Oh, yeah. Obviously.
Flannel's the guy to ask.
Look at me. I am the fashion connoisseur. Well, no. And for the record, and I know we've argued about this and we're probably going to be on different wavelengths until we actually see, which is the great thing about the draft and the NFL season. I like Caleb Williams. I think he's going to be a good quarterback for the Bears. I think he's going to be an upgrade over Justin Fields. And I quite frankly don't care too much about what he's wearing. I actually was a little worried that it could be even worse. So I'm kind of relieved that it was what it was. With Caleb Williams, you just don't know. I will say that.
Brandon Katz, Quinion Mitchell ran a 4.33. He has more upside than Arnold. Well, he'll run out there fast to get his holding calls then. He'll be very fast.
I like Quinion Mitchell. I would have been happy with either one, but I'm cool.
You can't tell me the film's not grabby, and he's not pulling that shit in the NFL.
It's a little grabby, but I will say this:
and Rocky Lombardi won't be a quarterback in the NFL.
Here's what I'll say about Quinion Mitchell really quick, and then I'll leave it alone because he's not ours.
Right.
Quinion Mitchell, though, metrically and athletically was the best corner in this draft. If you want to say that he merchanted a lot of what he did against MAC opponents, sure. I'm not necessarily going to fight you on that, but he is a good prospect with a lot of upside. But I'm more than happy with Terrion Arnold. More than happy.
All right.
I do got your Caleb Williams video.
Okay.
I couldn't get the whole fit, but apparently he wore like a Chicago Bears themed shirt under his.
He looks like he's going to the Met Gala with that thing on. Give me the picture of Tom Brady at the Met Gala.
Oh,
that's what he looks like, dude, with that on.
Oh my
God.
At least there was no nail polish this time.
It could be worse.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
I've seen worse.
Come on, man.
There you go, repping his city, man.
You're supposed to follow that guy? No chance. No chance. He wasn't grabbing the microphone and saying, I'm home.
No, that's true.
I'm fired up for it, man. I am. Yes. So, all right, here's what I want to do. We got to spin around the NFC North. Yep. I want to take a look at the San Francisco 49ers because, guys, we got to get comfortable with this. This is what we're chasing now. Yep. As you said, the window is open. They are open for business. They got their guy. Could this be the guy that puts them over the top? Could be.
Could be. Yep.
Absolutely could be. So we got to do it. We're going to get into it. Tell them about Lady Jane, Sam Flannel.
100% Lady Jane's, where I get this fancy haircut every single time I go. I should go back soon. And awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in and sit back and relax and let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Buying your first Feldman Chevrolet is much more than buying the car that will get you from point A to point B. It's a place for first memories, some big, some small. As she grows, you're not just buying her a Chevy, you're buying into a Feldman family. With more than 700,000 vehicles sold, from generation to generation, Feldman just keeps rolling.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
It's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
All right, everybody, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, NFL Draft. We're right in the guts of it right now. Round 1 has come and gone today. Of course, rounds 2 and 3. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that as it sits right now and what's available out there. Again, this is the ESPN rankings, everybody. It's not the Bible. It's the ESPN rankings. They have Cooper DeJean as the best available prospect. A lot of names that, were possible guys for the Detroit Lions to take a look at. Cooper DeJean, Johnny Newton, Kool-Aid McKinstry, A.D. Mitchell, Ladd McConkey, Keon Coleman out there, Brandon Fisk. So I guess, Flannel, the question right off the rip is, because we get to do this again, Lions picking 29th in the second round. And if you go by and look, it's not going to work out this way. I'm just telling you guys to give you an idea of what the story is. If you look at the quote-unquote 29th best product available, Tavondre Sweat, the defensive tackle from Texas, what are you looking for here in day 2, Flannel?
I mean, I personally would like Tavondre Sweat, but I don't think it's going to happen because he had some off-the-field issues, and Brad Holmes taking high character guys has never burned the Lions before, and I don't think it will. I don't think it will this year. I guess if I'm looking at a guy in the second round, just based off of what could be available, if there's a depth in terms of talent, I would say edge, maybe like a Jonah Ellis. That's somebody that I've seen in a lot of my mock drafts. A guy who was very productive last year, certainly has the speed, maybe a little bit on the small side, but I certainly think he would fit in really well on this defensive line. Adisa Isaac might be available. Marshawn Nealand, another high upside guy. He's one that I could see. You know what's funny, though, Neal? And I think you might be a little bit intrigued by this. I've got a little bit of a PFF second-round mock draft pulled up right now.
Of course it's PFF.
No, but
of course.
Hey, PFF, ESPN, come on. What's the difference?
It's like walking in the door Sunday at church going, open to Corinthians.
Right.
Yeah.
You know who they have falling all the way to 58? Jackson Powers Johnson.
And yeah, Broder, good. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
What is the deal with that? Because yesterday at like noon, maybe Jackson Powers Johnson can fall. And then by the time the draft, all of a sudden you look at best availables, he's like 60. What changed?
I don't know why he dropped so far. I didn't see the broadcast, so why was it ESPN had dropped him or the NFL Network?
Across the board.
Really?
Everywhere all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, he's a day 2 pick. I'm like, okay, no, anyone going to explain what changed?
Yeah, wasn't he a top 20 pick 48 hours ago?
Yeah. Right, yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything concerns because of some of his injuries or that he can only play center or guard or something. So it's a little puzzling, but the fact that there was this run on tackles and we haven't seen Zach Frazier go off the board yet means I think he's just a victim of this board just moving back. I think he's just one of those guys like a Johnny Newton who many had as a top 15 pick.
Yeah.
I think he's just a victim of that. I'll keep looking into it, but I don't think there's anything that's popped up in the last 48 hours to give reason why he should fall.
For me, and you guys know, and the player evaluation on ESPN, again, not the Bible, they have Zach Frazier listed as a 31st best prospect in the second round. And the Lions pick at 29. And Flannel, I want a center. And the reason I want a center is because, and I talked about this yesterday, what do you think the percent chance is that Frank Ragnow plays every game?
In the
single digits?
Yes. Yep.
Fair.
Yep.
And it's not a knock on Frank Ragnow.
No.
It's because the man has given his soul to the organization.
Yep. And he's not even 30 yet. Let's put that out there.
That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy.
He's like, the toe needs surgery. I'll do that later.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll play on 8 toes for y'all.
It's not a knock.
Yeah.
We got fans that are lining up to give him one of their toes. So it's not a knock. But I do need some insurance against that. Because I will say this. When Jonah Jackson missed time last year, what happened to the run game?
I mean, it got worse, but I will say this. A couple of those games, just for some context, the Buccaneers game where they lost, they didn't have their running backs, and the Baltimore Ravens game where it was a total team loss. But yes, the running stats did get worse. I will give you that.
Right. So
yes.
I want to be prepared for that situation. And it lines up, right? I don't know if you guys caught the Zach Frazier story when he broke his leg in a game and they didn't have any timeouts left. So he crawled off the field. So West Virginia was trying to come back in the game with no timeouts, would not be, so they wouldn't be charged.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they wouldn't be charged with a 10-second runoff. He dragged himself off the field. I would imagine reading that or seeing that would be like the equivalent of Dan Campbell porn.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what I'm
Dan
saying?
Campbell guy if I ever seen one.
Like it lines up, right?
Yeah, and honestly, Zach Frazier is certainly a guy I would consider. It's just I was operating more off of he's not going to be there. But if you're looking at him being the 31st ranked prospect in the second round and he's available, 100% I would take a guy like a Zach Frazier. He's got the positional versatility to play center or guard. And also, with me, I think it would align perfectly with like a Terrion Arnold signing. I wanted somebody in Terrion Arnold who could immediately help the team and maybe upgrade a position, at least at some point during the year. With Zach Frazier, even though you have what you think is your starting offensive line intact, knock on wood, of course, Zach, there's also going to be a lot of question marks moving forward with a Kevin Zeitler, for example, one-year contract. Frank Ragnow, shaky health. Zach Frazier, he's a guy that could step in maybe in a year or two, but also if Frank Ragnow gets hurt, Zach Frazier can play center.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, some kind of reaction to that. Danny G says, Ragnow can have every single toe I have. So that one's out there.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, no doubt. He can have every single toe I have. Andrew Haynes says, Glasgow can play center when Frank needs rest. Well, then who plays guard?
Well, that's the thing. I'm maybe that would be the more likely scenario. You put in Zach Frazier in Graham Glasgow's spot, and Graham Glasgow plays center. He's actually done it in the NFL before.
Yeah.
He wasn't as effective as Frank Ragnow, of course, but not too many people are. He was serviceable at least, and sometimes that's all you need when one of your best players goes down.
Yeah, so again, I just wanted to take a look, at what was out there and see what the story was for the second round and see where you go. What around the room? What do you guys want? What are you feeling?
I'd want an offensive guard. If it's just me, it's a lot of great names still out here. You have Christian Haynes, JPJ, like you said, Zach Frazier. It's a lot of ways you can attack this, but it has to be an offensive guard or an edge, but I would prefer offensive guard at this point.
And that's where I am. And I would prefer like some versatility.
Yeah.
Maybe a center / guard.
Right. So yeah, somebody that can switch. Yeah.
Somebody that can play tackle in a pinch.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Graham Glasgow was. Broder, what do you want to see, man?
You mean kind of like a Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State?
Or that's my other play.
Yeah. Or this is a little bit more of a developmental player, but Kingsley Sumatia out of BYU. It's Penei Sewell's cousin. He's a beast of a right tackle.
And can play guard.
And can play guard, or is athletic enough to play guard. I think he needs a year just sitting behind them, so he's not like a plug and play, even as a 6th or 7th offensive lineman, but he's a prospect there. Number 1, I'm going up to get Ladd McConkey.
Yeah, that's his guy. He's been screaming
that's
for
your
it.
guy.
No, come on.
What? Everyone wants a tall wide receiver on the outside. A tall wide receiver, what does that do? Creates a mismatch. Ladd McConkey, with Jared Goff as your quarterback, creates a mismatch in Jared's sweet spot.
All right. I'll indulge you for a second,
Please.
Broder. I'll treat you like anybody else, all right? So where are you moving to?
I'm moving to 39.
Whew.
You're moving to 39, all right?
He might be gone. Like, you might have to move up a little higher, but with the Jerzon Newtons and the JPJs and some of these interior offensive linemen who have dropped, you never know. Like, we could see a break in the wide receiver action because some of those teams that needed them got their guy in the first round.
All right, so I ask you then, what's that look like then? Because you got to pick up, and again, this isn't the Bible draft table here, draft value table. You got to move up about 200 points to do that. You don't have another pick.
I personally would rather move down. I like the idea of Ladd McConkey. I think the smart decision is to move back. Use 61 to get one in the 70s and another one in the hundreds, and add 2. There's going to be a bunch of good players, including 4 or 5 center/guards that are going to be there.
I'm bringing it up, like I'm messing with you a little bit, number one. But number 2, I'm just bringing it up for the people out there that are like, well, move up again. Okay, how? Give me the path. You moved your prime chip.
And that is something that I kind of wanted to ask you, because we talked about it on Wake Up Woodward. Do you think that moving up is a real possibility? Because to me, you have to start considering maybe some of your next year's capital. I'm not saying give it all away, but depending on what you're trying to do, you do have 2 4th-round picks next year. You got some assets in that next year's draft as well. We don't need a lot of bodies at this point. We're being pretty selective in the type of talent that we need to add to this team to get us to the Super Bowl. So what do you think about that?
Because I like those 4th-rounders, because what happens at the trade deadline? What does everybody get traded for at the trade deadline?
4th, 3rd, 4th rounders.
I'm using that.
You did.
And again, I'm making the plunge because the second Christian McCaffrey got traded, the NFL trade deadline did a 180 because it's real now.
Oh yeah.
Neal, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and you saw some very big names being moved at the trade deadline last year that helped rival teams. Although the Bears were so far gone that even having Montez Sweat didn't help him for last year, but he actually re-signed. Chase Young did not. So
Neal,
we shall see.
Whether it's today or another day, I would love for you to give me a lesson on compensatory picks. And
we're gonna get into that
today.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it because I want to take a look at who we're chasing.
Okay,
I want to do that actually when we come back from the next break, because it's real. Because the Terrion Arnold thing signals that.
Yeah,
he made a move. This could be the guy that puts you over the top. Like, the dicking around's over. The cute stories are over now. The window is open. The Lions are open for business in the Super Bowl. And that's from now until we get to September, that's going to be my overarching point. Mm-hmm. This is as real as it gets now, guys. Brad Holmes did it. Like, he set the signal up right there. It's no longer about talent acquisition anymore.
Yeah.
It's about talent refinement.
Talent refinement, and in the case of Terrion Arnold, getting who you think is the best cornerback in the draft at a position that you wouldn't expect him to maybe fall. And he thought trading up was worth it, and at least in terms of what I wanted to see philosophically, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Just looking ahead too, since we're here and I have it pulled up, and we'll get this and then we'll get out. Next year for the Detroit Lions in the draft, they own their own first, their second, their third. They have 2 4ths as part of the DeAndre Swift trade there. They have their own 5th. They have a 6th from the Buccaneers as part of the Carlton Davis trade. They gave their 6th away to the Browns for Donovan Peoples-Jones, so the bill comes due on that trade. They have the Cowboys 7th, which was the Terrion Arnold trade. Yep. They have the Jets 7th. That rides on Denzel Mims making the roster, though. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. And then they have their own 7th. So that's their draft capital. They got moves they can make later.
All right.
So again, a stockpile of 7ths for trade deadline stuff, man.
Yeah, and even obviously what you can get for a 7 is definitely not what you could get for a higher round pick, but the Lions DPJ, we'll see how that works out. Could end up being a bargain.
No, it is, because, again, bro, you tell me, like, the DPJ thing, that's the Reynolds guy now, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, right?
As the roster stands, like obviously you draft a lad, that's your new Reynolds, but DPJ's $2 million of pure upside.
All right.
And he's a beast.
Let's do this then. I want to take the break now because the chat's calling for it.
Cool.
We're going to take a look at the NFC North.
All right.
And what they did. We're going to take a look nationally about what happened with that as well. Tell them about Swiss Insurance.
Swiss Insurance, the best insurance you could possibly get. And with the first pick in the 2024 draft, Detroit picks Swiss Insurance Group, Woodward Sports and Detroit's top pick for your insurance needs. Keep your current provider honest and price out Swiss today. Go to SwissINS.com or call Mark today at 313-530-1698. Again, that is 313-530-1698, Swiss Insurance.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
What's good, man? How you doing? What you got for me today? Let's have a look, man. I see the one I want right there. That's the one I'm looking for.
Welcome to the winner's circle, Blake. Hey. Figer Law. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
BGCSM 3C Sports Conference is coming during NFL Draft Week, starting on April 24th. Special guests will include Jerome Bettis, Barry Sanders, Eddie George, Aleem McNeil, Calvin Johnson Jr., Sean H. Wilson, Cynthia Freeland, Adam Scheffner, and more. This event is open to athletes, coaches, and parents, but space is limited. So go to our website and purchase your tickets today at www.bgcsm.org.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Hey, when it comes to chicken sandwiches, I got the one that you can trade every future draft pick for. That's right, it's the Chicken Shack sandwich from Shake Shack. And guess what else? You can try the Chicken Shack sandwich for free. Hey, if you're bumping around downtown tomorrow, I don't know, roll by Chicken Shack, maybe cop yourself a crinkle fry and a shake, and your Chicken Shack sandwich will be free with a $10 purchase right there. Use a promo code Woodward. In person, online, download the Shake Shack app. There, I got it handled for you down there. So that's what you can do, everybody. Available in all 7 Metro Detroit locations. It ends May 1st. So again, in person, online, or download the Shake Shack app today. A free Chicken Shack sandwich with a $10 purchase. Promo code Woodward. Man, we're pulling up to the second hour of the show already. This is pretty incredible, but that's what the draft does. Neal, Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for Darren McCarty. We got Broder, we got KG, and we're talking about the NFL draft. I know I promised I want to spin around the division. We will, but before, I think you have to look at it and kind of do it chronologically here. And just the draft as a whole. I just want to get everybody's thoughts on the draft as a whole. Because, Flannel, I'll tell you this, man. This entire thing, it was kind of running by the book. It was borderline boring. And then all of a sudden, the Atlanta Falcons get up there on the podium. And no one to this day, I searched out their press conference, all of it, trying to figure out what their plan was with taking Michael Penix Jr. after you sign Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million contract. Now, I use that. That's kind of the porn angle to it. It's really a 4-year, $100 million contract.
The best part, they didn't even tell him.
They didn't.
They sandbagged
tell him.
him. They sandbagged him.
They didn't tell him. They didn't tell his agent. Nobody knew. But Flannel, that was the moment that flipped the draft, because that one, everyone who's desperate for a quarterback gets desperate for. It made 6 quarterbacks go in the top 12 picks. It changed the face of the draft. It allowed Terrion Arnold to fall to the Detroit Lions, because look at it. Look at how everything shook out from there. That was the point where everything got wild.
Yeah, nobody thought that all of the top 6 quarterbacks would be gone by pick 12. And in large part because Michael Penix got picked number 8 by the Falcons. That actually did happen. It was one of the most shocking first-round picks I've ever seen. Like, full stop. That there were literally probably 30 scenarios before Michael Penix that I would have seen as more plausible than them drafting Michael Penix, especially since they just paid Kirk Cousins 4 years, $180 million. You could say he's coming off of an Achilles, his first major injury, but if that was your concern, don't give him 4 years, $180 million. It's just, to me, and I know we agree on this, the Falcons, if they would have just got maybe a little help at the edge rusher position, for example, like say if they wanted Dallas Turner, because that's a position where I would say they're glaringly deficient at and could improve, especially opposite Grady Jarrett. This was a team that probably would be the heavy favorites to win the NFC South. And now they still could, because I still think Kirk Cousins being there, regardless of if Michael Penix is waiting in the wings, is still going to help improve this team. But I think the Falcons, they could have been that. They could have done kind of what the Lions did, although not to the same scale. Get a guy, maybe the best guy at that position, in a position where they're deficient at, and they could win the division and maybe be a threat come playoff time and maybe even give Falcons fans some Super Bowl dreams. Instead, They went after Michael Penix Jr. When do you expect him to be on the field?
Yeah.
Do you expect Kirk Cousins to just sit there and make $45 million a year? I can't explain it. There's nothing that makes sense out of that move. And it's perplexing.
Neal, real quick, DNCENT, you'll like this one. Kirk's deal is really 2 years with 2 void years.
That's funny because I have it in front of me right now, and it is actually, if you want to boil it down, it's like what's the general rule? You take a year off, right? You take a year off of it, and then the money is in the neighborhood of what the guarantee is.
The guarantee.
You know what I'm saying?
What you want to hook for.
It is because it's funny because when I look at it, in year number 3, he carries a $25 million dead cap number. That's what I see when I look at the deal right now.
Yeah.
So to me, unless you want to eat $25 million to dead cap, it becomes a 3-year deal. You can get out of it after that 3rd year for 12.5 a dead cap. You can do that.
Yeah.
So it's as 4-year as it gets, everybody. And remember too, it is essentially a 3-year, $100 million deal. Yeah. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, and that is true, but even all that being said, getting Kirk Cousins where you were clearly weak. I believe the Falcons would have won the division last year if they had a quarterback better than Desmond Ridder. That's a win-now move. Michael Penix Jr. is the very opposite of that. That's the draft and stash move, and I just think that the Falcons have too much potential upside if they were to, say, get an edge rusher or hell. Well, I don't know about a corner or a safety at number 8, but there are moves that could have been made. And I just think it was a layup to get somebody like Dallas Turner, and they blew it. Time will tell. We shall see, but the Falcons don't seem like a draft and stash team where they're at right now.
And Catspot, chimes in too. Remember, he's coming off an ACL. The whole thing's bizarre.
Yeah.
The whole thing is absolutely bizarre. WTF, or Danny G, WTF are the Falcons doing? I don't know. The Falcons owner, Senile AF.
Arthur Blank.
I've looked for a reason. I've looked for a comment. I've looked for just the why. There is no why anywhere. There's no why anywhere. The GM just says, hey, we're happy to have 2 good quarterbacks in the room. And that was it.
I don't mind a head coach who you just brought in.
Yeah.
Your opponents in that division have pretty crappy tackles. Your one hole is edge.
And the other thing that I saw, and Spot Track actually tweeted this out. They said that when they broke down his contract, they said Penix will be paid this to sit and learn for 2 years behind Kirk Cousins. So I don't know, maybe if they heard something that I didn't hear, but even if that's the plan, that's got to be the plan. It has to be the plan.
Yeah, but
there can't be another plan.
Well, there certainly can't be. It's just with Michael.
I know there's no plan to get an edge. I know that.
Because they didn't, and they could have. It's just with Michael Penix though, and I get it. When you have the concerns about them, maybe he's just never going to be any good, which I would probably lean towards not going to be a starter. However, the fact that you're experienced, you've been very productive in college, which he has, wouldn't be one of the selling points that he is somebody that maybe doesn't need a couple years of tutelage. He's not what you would call a raw prospect or anything like that. So we shall see. We shall see. It doesn't make sense.
Old Jarhead, how is it different than Goff Hooker? Number 1, the Lions didn't use the number 8 overall pick to take Hendon Hooker. Number 2, Jared Goff didn't have 3 years and $100 million guaranteed left on the deal either when they took Hendon Hooker. That's how it's different. Number 3, Michael Penix can not coming off an ACL. It's wild. It's absolutely bizarre. Anything else catch your eye in terms of the first round of the NFL draft, Flannel?
I mean, one of the things that caught my eye was just how many offensive linemen and pass catchers that were taken. I believe it was 9 offensive linemen, 8 tackles, and Graham Barton actually played tackle in college, but he's listed as a center. And then you had 7 wide receivers plus Brock Bowers. I think it's just what that tells me are that paying a tackle moving forward and paying a wide receiver, I mean, you've seen it with Amon-Ra St. Brown and then A.J. Brown and then what we're going to see with guys like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and the like.
More on Justin Jefferson when we take a look at the rest of the division.
Yeah.
We will talk about it. Getting that wide receiver on a rookie deal or even getting a tackle on a rookie deal because you've seen guys succeed recently like Sewell, like Darashaw, like Tristan Wirfs, like Rashawn Slater is a pretty nice deal. And also, giving your quarterback protection and weapons, especially with the way the game is going more offensively, with all the rules they've put into, I wouldn't say legislate defense out of the game, but you could kind of say that, especially with the hip drop tackle. It's important for quarterbacks to have what they need at their disposal, and I think that's what these teams are looking at. Wide receivers, offensive linemen, those are quarterbacks' best friend, and they were basically more than half of the picks when you combine them in the first round.
No, absolutely. Talk about trading Kirk Cousins. Yes, certainly that is something that you can do, but you are responsible. You are responsible for that $50 million signing bonus that got cut the day that he signed the deal. Like, that doesn't go away. You paid it, so you're responsible for it. So those are some of the things that you have to take into account as well. The Raiders really, I think, were the ones that kind of got left out in the cold when the whole run of the quarterbacks thing. And you know, in this day and age of I told you so, the quarterback religion, man. All these GMs went to church, and prayed on it, and prayed on that quarterback spot. It's again, and as we see the salaries of quarterbacks continue to escalate, and it shows you how valuable they are. You're always going to see, like, guys. Think about this. After pick 12 of the NFL draft, the best available quarterback was Spencer Rattler.
Jesus. He's still getting some talk.
So pick 13, the Raiders are on the clock. Who need a quarterback? Is that safe to say?
Yes.
I don't mind Aiden O'Connell. I mean, he might not be your long-term, but...
Come on, bro.
So then you need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, let's cut the ship,
yeah,
brother.
You're right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, all right. And you're sitting there with pick 13 of the draft, and you look, and you're like, all right, well, who's available? Oh, Spencer Rattler, and that's it. Like, think about that for a minute, man.
Yeah, and so they did, I guess, what was the next best thing for them. Because the Raiders, people forget, their defense was actually pretty good last year. I know that people clowned them a little bit for not taking a defensive player and taking a tight end in Brock Bowers when they already had Michael Mayer, but their defense was good last year, and they added Christian Wilkins. It's just... and also they have a couple of good tackles as well. So that's why maybe they didn't take Tylese Fuaga, for example. This Brock Bowers thing, again, I think it's another example of if Aiden O'Connell is going to be there and whoever's backing him up, you might as well give him as many weapons as you can. Michael Mayer, I would say, had an up and down rookie year, although he showed some flashes. And with Brock Bowers, to me, the difference between him and Michael Mayer is he's a guy who can line up on the slot. He can line up on the line. He's more athletic. After the catch, he actually can make people miss and break tackles. Michael Mayer, to me, is that type of tight end who's going to be perpetually 60 catches for 640 yards. Just that old school throwback. So I actually think it could be a decent fit. I think it's somewhat intriguing, especially if you need to insulate Aiden O'Connell, which you certainly do as much as you can.
Is your Hunter Renfrow replacement?
I mean, Hunter, a little different, more talented, but yeah, like, right. They need somebody who can make plays out of the slot.
They should have gone Fatanu, the tackle / guard.
Yeah.
They should have gotten nasty on that offensive line.
That was probably their next. I agree with you that if I were to do that might have been my pick as well. I understand the Bowers one. When you on surface it doesn't make sense, but remember there were times pretty much every year when he was in college where you were looking at him and saying, "Damn, this might be the best player in all of college football. He might be the best tight end prospect ever." 13, that could be a steal.
LFG says, all right, Neal, well, if they can trade Kirk Cousins year 3, then they should be ready to go with Michael Penix. They can trade him after year 3. And he talks about how they can still win. And oh, by the way, you didn't use pick number 8 in a division that is eminently winnable.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
That's the crazy part of it all.
Y'all really got a chance to win now, and you didn't do it.
That's exactly where I was. I'm going to wrap it up with this. The other thing here, and this is a little bit off the board, we got into it last night on the draft show. And again, shout out to all of you that watched it. Nearly 20,000 people were checking us out, so we certainly do appreciate it. The old Jacksonville Jaguars cemented my theory about Trevor Lawrence.
What's your theory about Trevor Lawrence?
A, it's over for Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
It's over.
That's lunacy.
Damn.
B, they roll up and they take Brian Thomas Jr. at number 23. Trevor Lawrence is literally this generation's Matt Stafford. He needs this. He needs weapons. He needs. And they're all in. So good luck. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, not a serious organization.
All right. Let me just be brief. If you want to say that Trevor Lawrence hasn't lived up to being the number 1 overall pick, I'm with you on that. Last year was incredibly disappointing. However, this is a big year for Trevor Lawrence. And
I know. I hear it every year.
No, but
last year was a big year.
Remember, though, his second year, they did go to the playoffs.
Right.
25 touchdowns, 8 picks, and
they got
basically made up for all of his first half sins and getting them a playoff win. That did happen. Last year,
who'd he beat?
The Chargers.
Really? Man. Justin Herbert, right?
Yeah, Justin Herbert.
Clock's ticking on him, too, but go ahead.
I'm telling you.
I disagree with that, considering they already paid him. But anywho, I don't get how you can say it's over. And
because I watch the games.
But again, I'm going to go back to this. You believe in Justin Fields, and you want to throw Trevor Lawrence in the
You're
trash.
doing the easy thing right now. You're doing the easy thing right now. I said Justin Fields has an elite trait. Like it's something that you could. It's something that you have. It's something he has. He has an elite trait. Will it equate to him being a Hall of Fame quarterback? Not necessarily, but there is something there that you can cultivate. There is.
Yeah, and there's something there with Trevor Lawrence.
Really,
and
what?
They lost Calvin Ridley. They did.
Did they ever have Calvin?
Yes,
you know what? He's another one.
He had 1,000 yards, Neal. Come on.
I'm tired of hearing about Calvin Ridley and everybody slobbering all over Calvin Ridley. And can we go get Calvin Ridley? Show me the big Calvin Ridley. Show me the big performance, man.
He had 1,300 yards. He's
that's what 90 yards a game, 80 yards a game.
Are you poo-pooing over 1,300 yards? Are you really doing that?
I'm just tired of hearing about him. Just tired of hearing. Then why does nobody want him ever?
Well, because it's not. I'm not saying he's a leader or anything, but you're acting like he's, I don't know, Troy Williamson or something.
No, then you
like
agree
that.
with me because he's not elite.
He's not elite, but he's probably a top maybe 25 receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. At one point, he was bordering elite, but
remember those days?
Yeah, I know, right? The Atlanta days.
Yeah, those were great times, man. Those were absolutely great times. Hey, when you're in an accident, you need a lawyer more than any time in your life. The number 1 pick in that scenario right there. You want the best on your side. Feiger Law, 1-800-A-WINNER. Guys, I'm being serious here with this. You get in an accident, now it's for real. Now we're talking legal situations. Get the best on your team. Feiger Law, 1-800-A-WINNER. Feiger Law, all we do is win.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Buying your first Feldman Chevrolet is much more than buying the car that will get you from point A to point B. It's a place for first memories, some big, some small. As she grows, you're not just buying her a Chevy, you're buying into a Feldman family. With more than 700,000 vehicles sold, from generation to generation, Feldman just keeps rolling.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. There's 18 Feldman Automotive locations in and around the Metro Detroit area. So number 1, there's one close to you. Number 2, it's not just Chevy. It's all brands, all across the car spectrum, and Feldman Automotive can give you that ease and that simplicity in the car buying process. Guys, don't be wasting a day of your time buying a car. Flannel, how long did it take you to buy a car?
About 3 hours.
3 hours at Feldman Automotive. You can't even get appliances that quick, everybody. Come on now. 18 Feldman Automotive locations around the area, anchored by Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer out there in Novi. Go say hi to my guy, Ryan Palter, and the staff out there. They'll get you in that new Chevy. The interest rates are coming down a little bit. It's getting a little easier to do business now. Now is the time, everybody. FeldmanAuto.com.
With the 25th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers and hosts for the 2025 NFL Draft select Jordan Morgan, tackle, Arizona.
3-year starter at left tackle for Arizona has been training to play on the right side as well or guard, so the versatility is there. That particular cheesehead doesn't seem excited. Jordan Morgan tore the ACL in 2022, came back stronger.
Back out of here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. It's funny, I don't hate the pick. I just love that Packer fan got mocked and ridiculed with that stupid cheesehead that they wear.
He's immortalized forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He absolutely is. Neal, Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for DMAC KG. And, of course, we have Broder here in the building as well. DNC ENT, this is the best the Jacksonville wide receiver room's ever been. Okay, then what am I going to hear about next year when they get in the draft? What's going to be the problem next year?
They could make the play. Well, the Texans are pretty good too.
Oh yeah, weird.
Hey, they could. The Jaguars, they were what, 9-8 last year.
Yeah,
I think that they could be a wild card team still. We'll see.
Stanford had some pretty good wide receiver groups. Golden Tate, Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Just saying, Neal.
You didn't say anything that is factually incorrect.
No.
You stood on it. All right, guys, let's get into it. The NFC North edition here. And so, okay, let's take the Minnesota Vikings first. Here's what I want to get out there now.
Uh-oh. Get your shit off. Go ahead.
Shut it for a minute, KG. All right, here's the deal. Mike G, Neal yelling at JJ to piss off, which I did last night, is kind of out of bounds, right? Or does Neal yell at all the local Michigan-based kids when they do something good? A, J.J. McCarthy's not a Michigan-based local kid. B, the Minnesota Vikings took him. So, yes, my most hated franchise in all of professional sports. So guess who goes with that? J.J. McCarthy. And guess what else as far as what happens with the Minnesota Vikings right now? You look at it, the money they have into Hawkinson, the money that they may have into Justin Jefferson if he resigns. So we'll see if Justin Jefferson agrees with this deal as well. And for all the Michigan fans out there, there is no more of this. No more of this J.J. McCarthy. Oh, I hope he does well. No, he's got that stupid purple helmet on with those antlers that almost touch each other at the top. They play in that stadium with that stupid horn. Guess what? I'm praying on his downfall because I'm a Lions fan, and he plays for the enemy. He plays for the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, I'm praying on the entire Vikings downfall. I'm T Grizzly when it comes to that. I do not want the Vikings to succeed at all because I'm a Lions fan, Sam Flannel, and you should be the exact same way. KG, you said it already, that he's dead to you, and that's the way it should be for every single Michigan fan. Broder, you're a Michigan man. You went to Michigan. You played baseball at Michigan. You struck out George Springer at Michigan.
Facts.
You're rooting for JJ.
No,
you want JJ to do well, Matt Broder. He's a local Michigan kid.
He got drafted to one of 3 teams where he's dead to me. 10, 12 years, dead.
Thank you.
Unalived, I should say, with the algorithm.
That's just the cost of doing business because the college shit's over now. This is the NFL. You're judged by Super Bowls. You're judged by championships. That's how this works. And yeah, hey, Chuck, no, I don't think he packs the gear to be a Super Bowl champion. No, I don't think that highly of his abilities. And maybe as a game manager, yes. But he's walking into a situation there right now. Flannel, you say it's good. I know you can make of it what you want. But the bottom line is this. He's walking into this situation. You got Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy. And I'll get to the question in a minute. That's what he's walking into. So guess what? It's all on him. He better be elite. But I don't think he can be.
See, I don't know if he has to necessarily be elite. He can be fine. I would say, and I'll get off this in a second. I would say if he has a Kirk Cousins-like career, I think that's a decent success. That's just my opinion. However, and I will give you this, Neal, I don't think you would have told JJ to piss off if he would have been drafted by, let's say, the Patriots.
No.
You might have still not believed in him, which...
He's a Minnesota Viking now, period, end of story. My most hated franchise in all of professional sports. Hate them. Hate the jerseys. Hate the helmets. Definitely hate that stupid horn that they blow on all the time. Oh, I can't stand it. So guess what? He is the enemy. Wrap your heads around this, guys. The Lions are playing to go to the Super Bowl, which entails winning your division and getting home playoff games. He is the enemy. He is in the way of what you, a Michigan fan and a Lions fan, what you, as a Michigan fan, as a Lions fan, what you, as a Michigan fan and a Lions fan, he is in the way of what you wanted your entire life. So guess what? If he goes down, so be it.
At least you got a reason to hate now.
So be it.
You can stop talking about that Bowling Green game, but go ahead.
Oh, the one he threw 3 picks in and 145 yards?
Yeah, we know. Go ahead, Flannel.
That's all right. So this is how you should feel as a Michigan fan. I will give you, because it does align with all of you guys. As a Michigan fan, J.J. McCarthy's already won. He is undisputedly the best quarterback in school history. He is the first quarterback to be from Michigan to be taken top 10 in the draft. First-round quarterback since Jim Harbaugh to be drafted in the first round.
Cool story.
No, he was the quarterback of a national championship winning team. He is Michigan royalty. He did more than his job at Michigan. However, the highlight that I want to see most from him this year is a blindside Aiden Hutchinson sack fumble, which doesn't injure him, obviously, but that would be like football porn because he does play on the Vikings. And say what you want about the Vikings. I think that they have a situation that could be advantageous for anybody.
Hold on. Mason Leach. I'm rooting for JJ 15 of the 17 weeks of the year. Oh, Mason. So you want him to be 15-2 then, huh? You want them to win the division because of JJ, right? The electric JJ and his 180 passing yards every game. Get out of here with that, Mason Leach. Get out of here, dude. Then you're not a Lions fan then, bro. You're not. This is the NFL now. We standing on business with this stuff. Make your choice, Mason Leach. You gonna get a JJ purple jersey, huh? You gonna rock it out? These are your people, Flannel.
It is unfortunate.
Come get your people.
It is unfortunate that he got drafted to Minnesota because that's the thing. As I've and me and KG can debate over how good the situation is or how poor it is. The reality is that the Vikings, they made some moves. They've acquired some talent over the years to where a good quarterback could make them a threat in the foreseeable future. I don't think they're dead and buried. So, that being said, you would like for the Vikings to not be in the way. I'll just say that because this division is going to get tougher. And if you can cross the Vikings off the list, that just makes things easier for the Lions.
Absolutely. And if J.J. McCarthy doesn't succeed, then guess what? It cripples the Minnesota Vikings.
That's true.
You can't escape that.
Absolutely.
You can't escape. So, Mike G, you can sit there and say, Neal doesn't get WSN. It's based on all of our teams. Minnesota Vikings ain't my team, bro. And they're nobody's team here in the chat.
Neither is Michigan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They won a national championship.
Yeah.
And then they got sanctions for illegal recruiting. And by the way, the guy that got illegally recruited is now with the Minnesota Vikings.
You couldn't just put the period after we won the
I
championship.
did put the period on it. You heard the pause?
Yeah, but you added an extra sentence that was unnecessary.
That's part of the story. Again, you don't get to choose how it's interpreted.
I understand.
You don't
but
get
you're
to
the
choose
only
that.
one that interprets it that way.
No, there's a lot of people that choose to not ignore reality.
Okay.
And again, you have to deal with that.
Kiss the rings, Neal.
Well, and you know what? They won it. And it'll be some BS like if they try to take it away or any of that stupid stuff. I watch them get the trophy.
Well, that's an improvement. I'll take that.
I've always said that. Flannel, have I not always said that?
You have.
Okay.
See, you have selective hearing, my friend. You hear what you want to hear.
I might.
All right, but that's it. So I guess that's the moral of the story with the Vikings. All right, right here, right now. Does Justin Jefferson re-sign with the Vikings?
Don't look like it. Oof.
That's
a lot of conviction there.
Well, because
how they go to Fordham, Sam?
$40 million.
Man, that's a tough one because he's gonna ask for more than A.J. Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And for the record, I don't blame him for that. Justin Jefferson should believe that he's better than those guys, and he does.
Can we chat poll it?
Yeah.
Is J.J. McCarthy your enemy now?
I thought you was chap on the other thing, but yeah, I got you.
Is J.J. McCarthy your enemy? He is my enemy. He is every Lions fan enemy.
He was your enemy a long time ago, but continue.
Well, it's more to the Michigan fans. It's not to me.
Yeah.
So let's see it.
This better be lopsided. I shouldn't have said that to put that bias out there.
We'll take it to the streets. GW the Kid, thank you, Neal. I don't want to hear about the Michigan stuff. FJ 1967, Neal, you're right. Detroit Arrow, Vikings are cooked.
I don't know if they're cooked, but if JJ isn't good, they are.
There.
Right, yeah.
That's the gravity of this situation now. That national championship will not help him.
Nope.
This is big boy football.
There have been plenty of quarterbacks who have won national championships as starters and not done shit.
I can't believe that somebody in this chat on this network said, quote, I'm rooting for JJ 15 out of 17 weeks of the year. Literally wants the Vikings to be 15-2 because of JJ.
I mean,
they said that. I didn't say that.
No, I know. I will say this. If there's a Vikings game, which they all do to some extent, if there's just a random Vikings game that I don't watch and I see that JJ put up good numbers, I might just be like, I remember that at Michigan.
Yeah, good times.
That's not rooting for him. That's just not actively hating him even when he's not right in front of you. Obviously, I root against the Vikings every game because they're a threat. It's just I'm not going to look at a good stat line and be like, damn it, no matter what it is. That's my rationale, and I'm sticking to it.
I will if the Vikings win, because I get mad when the Vikings win, because I hate them.
That's fair.
So, yeah, the people that are hate, yeah. I'm guilty of hating the Minnesota Vikings. As a Lions fan, I'm sorry. I'll stand down.
Their fan base, by the way, has taken maybe the top spot as the biggest trolls of all time. Like one of the worst fan bases ever.
I'd use a different word. All right, hey, Premier Pet Supply, KG.
Oh, yeah.
Let him know.
Let me get my read out. Premier Pet Supply.
Hold on. No, I'm not giving him his flowers on draft night. All right, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. When it comes to your pets, don't settle. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store, family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food, lowest prices, and curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best at www.premierpetsupply.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking, and the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. And with the first pick in the 2024 media draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
What's good, man? How you doing? What you got for me today? Let's have a look, man. I see the one I want right there. That's the one I'm looking for.
Welcome to the winner's circle, Blake.
Hey.
Feiger Law. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at LesStanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
All right, keeping it pushing, everybody taking a look at the NFL draft, what our rivals did. We have to take a spin around to check in with the 49ers as well. Neal, Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for DMAC, Matt Broder, KG here in the house. We're doing it better. Better draft coverage than anybody in the city here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Mike G, and people are talking about it too. I want him to throw 350 a game and 4 touchdowns, says Jaden Johnson. No, he is the enemy now.
Yeah.
So wait, you going to rock your J.J. McCarthy jersey? We going to do this with everybody, huh? You going to go, when the Lions are playing the Texans in the Super Bowl, hopefully at the end of the year, hey, Mike, you're going to go rock a Nico Collins Texans jersey? Is that what you're going to do? Well, I just hope Nico Collins gets 220 yards and 3 touchdowns. I hope that, and then I hope the Lions win the game. What? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to be spending a whole lot of money on jerseys, man. What about if Mikey Sanders still gets drafted by the Bears? Huh? You going to go buy a Bears jersey too? Man, I just hope he plays well. Who are you going to root for when the Bears play the Vikings if that happens? This isn't college anymore. It's real life. It's the NFL.
To be fair, though, I think you can root for Nico Collins when they're not playing the Lions because they're in the AFC. In fact, I've had wrong predictions, but I predicted a breakout season for Nico Collins, over 1,000 yards, to be the wide receiver 1. You can be happy about that because we all have our player Bs and our team Bs. But it just can't be the Bears, Packers, or Vikings, obviously. And right now it can't be the Niners or the Eagles or Cowboys or whoever else's competition, whoever's in the way for the Lions.
Well, we ain't got to worry about the Cowboys, but
that's fair.
Carry on.
That's fair.
Let's carry on.
Nick in the chat says, Mike G is such a whiny bitch. Now, that's aggressive.
Whoa.
That's a little aggressive. In the poll right now, is J.J. McCarthy the enemy now? 81%, hell yeah, go Lions. 19%, no, I love them still. So 1 in 5 of you are soft. That's what that tells me. Because I got Michigan Man right here saying that. AJ Rader, Tony Khan is a clown. You see his bit with the neck brace on after the wrestling bit yesterday?
Yeah.
Whatever, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right, let's whatever, man. Let's take a look at it. The sad Packers fan, obviously we just played that clip. That one made me laugh. But they did take an offensive lineman that, if in true Packer fashion, will be there for 9 years.
Yeah, and honestly, when the pick was first made, I thought that they should have gone secondary. However, the Packers, with how they've built their offensive line, they've done it basically through non-first round picks. And they did have a glaring weakness on their offensive line going into next year. Sean Ryan sucks, and Sean Ryan's not a starter. And Jordan Morgan is a first round. He played tackle in college, but projects to be a guard. So I actually think it's a solid pick for them, especially if you believe Jordan Love is your franchise quarterback, which you should after what he did last year.
No, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. But yeah, the Green Bay Packers take Jordan Morgan, the offensive tackle from Arizona, at number 25. And I wanted to see, too, because I think that that's a move that maybe we should have done a better job of forecasting, because I was with you, because I thought the most Packer thing to do is take random safety.
Yeah.
And then he ends up being there for 7 years. I don't know what it is about about the way they are with that, but it just always seems to work out that way. So the Green Bay Packers, too, think about this. They have the 4th most dead cap money in the NFL. They got $47 million of dead cap, and that's mostly due to the Bakhtiari thing.
Yeah.
But they're still competitive. They won a road playoff game last year. I know it was at Dallas, but they still won a road playoff game.
And that's due to them having quite a few damn good drafts recently, especially with their offensive line and their pass catchers. It's, all for Jordan Love. Yeah. And Jordan Love was a draft pick as well. So
hell, they almost beat the Niners.
Yeah, Brian Gutekunst is a pretty solid drafter in his own right.
Yeah, people forget that, man.
Yeah.
They had him on the run there. They had him on the run for a minute. All right, the Chicago Bears. They don't have a ton of draft picks in this draft, but they had some heavy hitters, obviously, with the Carolina Panthers. How are they feeling today? The Carolina Panthers, number 1 overall pick, their own number 9 overall pick. But the Bears jump in the mix, obviously, with Caleb Williams, and then they chase that with Rome Odunze, the Washington receiver. I'm not a huge Rome Odunze guy, but still, it's clear what their path is. It's clear what they're trying to do, because if you got the number 1 overall pick, and you're doing a quarterback with it, then you're going to try to give him some stuff to work with. And he already has stuff to work with.
I still probably would have went edge rusher at 9 to give you a bookend to Montez Sweat, because right now their bookend is DeMarcus Walker and Dominique Robinson. Good luck with that. Although Montez Sweat, he's great, but everybody needs a partner, and the Bears don't have one. However, that receiving core now, I mean, we all agree that DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, that's pretty formidable. Their offensive line, I think, is better set up than you think. I think they do believe that they have their tackles who they've gotten in the last couple of drafts, particularly Darnell Wright, who could be looking at having like an Andrew Thomas-like bump in his second year. The thing about the receivers for the Bears, though, the thing that I like about the Odunze pick in particular, for them, I don't like it because I want the Bears to be bad, is that you kind of got some guys who do different things. Believe it or not, Keenan Allen lined up in the slot most of last year. So slot receivers...
Man, $23 million for a slot receiver they're paying him?
That's... you know who else did? CeeDee Lamb. So this whole slot receiver...
Man, he's going to get $30 million for a slot receiver?
This slot receiver thing is obviously nonsense, and anybody who parrots that just doesn't know ball. And you got DJ Moore, kind of your quick... You're a fleet-footed, like 6-foot wide receiver, kind of that good stop-and-start route running ability type who can take it to the house once it's in his hands. But what you got with Rome Odunze, you've got your big, tall wide receiver. Do you know what Rome Odunze led all of college football in last year? Contested catches, and deep yards.
NFL stuff.
I mean, my point is that they fit together. They all do different things. So I think that it could be good for them. And Caleb Williams has himself a pretty advantageous situation, or at least a lot more advantageous than, say, Andrew Luck came in when he went to the Indianapolis Colts, for example.
Yeah. Who wins the division next year?
Lions.
Based on round 1 of the draft.
Lions.
Who wins the division next year?
Lions.
KG, who wins the division next year?
Lions, come on now.
I say it's going to be the Vikings, because when you get a difference maker like J.J. McCarthy in there, you get the next coming of Joe Montana, a local kid who's not local, by the way, just happened to go to Michigan. I don't see how you could defeat that.
Love to see it, man.
I figured you were going to do something like that because it's so obvious. Nobody's not going to pick the Lions. And you should pick the Lions. With all the improvements that the other teams presumably made.
But how are they going to deal with J.J. McCarthy?
We'll see. Well, we don't. I mean, even as somebody who believes in him and believes he will be good, I don't know that. We gonna see.
How many playoffs teams this division get?
2.
Packers, Lions?
Yes.
2.
Packers, Lions?
I don't know who that second one is yet. I got to see Chicago. I got to see this play out. Right now, I'd say Packers.
2, but it could be 3. That NFC South still, I don't know.
You mean with Michael Penix?
You said what?
How was that tone, Neal? Did I deliver that all right? Oh, you mean with Michael Penix?
You need reps.
Yeah. I'm learning. That's why I'm here.
How about it should have been like this? Oh, you mean Michael Penix? Like, see, that's it. You just need reps, man. I've got thousands of reps under my belt.
See, this is the value of a locker room. Like, I'm learning from you, but this isn't showing up on a stat sheet.
Yeah, Sam Flannel wouldn't value it at all. He definitely wouldn't value it. I value Planet Fitness, however. We're live at the Planet Fitness Studios. You guys already know what it is. The best gym in the gym game. I've been a member there for over 3 years. I'll never be a member at another gym. I don't need a rock wall. All right? I need tons of cardio equipment. I need tons of weights. I need a 30-minute circuit if I'm in a hurry. I need clean facilities to take a shower and do all that business. I need unlimited use of the amenities. The hydro massage chair. That's a banger right there. And guess what? I get all of it at Planet Fitness for $1 down and $24.99 per month. That is right. That Black Card membership, access to over 2,500 Planet Fitnesses around the world. I'll be at the Coconut Creek one in the morning, tomorrow, Saturday morning, getting it in because I can roll like that because I'm a Planet Fitness Black Card member, and you should be too. Pull in the parking lot. There's over 50 of them in the Metro Detroit area. Just pull in the parking lot of the 1 or 2 or 3 that you pass on the way home, or go to planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports. The world is about to have their eyes on Detroit. So we figure we show them how Detroit parties. Join us at the 313 Draft Party, presented by Feiger Law on Woodward and Adams in Detroit, April 25th and 26th. That's right, we're taking over the city with a live broadcast from the 313 Draft Party, sponsored by Jars, Lost Farm, and Gold Crown. Covering the NFL Draft like only Woodward Sports can. Join the entire Woodward family when the first round begins at 8 p.m. This party is 21 plus, free to the public, and opens at 2 p.m. on Thursday. Come watch the live broadcast for rounds 1, 2, and 3 at the best draft party of the D. Ain't no party like a Detroit party, especially when you party with Woodward Sports. Thank you to our sponsors, Sorokas, Glorious, and Feiger Law. All we do is win.
BGCSM 3C Sports Conference is coming during NFL Draft Week, starting on April 24th. Special guests will include Jerome Bettis, Barry Sanders, Eddie George, Aline McNeil, Calvin Johnson Jr., Sean H. Wilson, Cynthia Freeland, Adam Scheffner, and more. This event is open to athletes, coaches, and parents, but space is limited. So go to our website and purchase your tickets today at www.bgcsm.org.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit, doubling the number of restaurants this year. Known for their quality, hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken tenders, sandwiches, and New York-style pizza. Be sure to stop in and try at a mega station near you or go to Sorokis.com.
All right, everybody, coming down the stretch here. NFL Draft Round 1 reaction Friday. It's Friday, right? Yes, it is. Neal, Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for D-Mac, Matt Broder, KG here in the house. We got the A squad here handling business. And look, I want to take time and do this, and I don't know if any of the other shows have done it, will do it, but I want to work in this space right now. Much in the same vein of the preying on J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings' downfall. We have to look at our contemporaries as well. And our contemporaries are not only the NFC North, they are the Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys to a degree as well. Like, these are the waters we're in, guys. The road to the Super Bowl goes through, I promise you, the road to the Super Bowl will go through one of those three teams. It just will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, who else is it going to be? Yep. So, the San Francisco 49ers, I did want to take a look in what they were able to do in the draft last night. The whole Ricky Pearsall thing, the wide receiver from Florida. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't watch a ton of Florida games yesterday because I'm not interested in 6-5 teams or 5-7 teams.
Yeah.
Just not interested in it. So I'll lean on you, Broder. You're the draft elite here. Sell me Ricky Pearsall.
Brandon Ayuk is out of San Francisco.
It's done, right?
It's got to be the Ayuk replacement. He's that type of his potential is in route running.
But why? Why does Ayuk have to leave?
Oh, the salary cap.
Yeah, he wants to get paid.
No, the cap's not real.
Oh, that's right. So he just wants out.
Okay, got it. No, but that's my point though. You know, so it makes sense, and it kind of tells you the tea leaves of what they're going to do, and they're going to move Brandon Ayuk. They are.
I will say this. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk, there's some, I would say, chatter about him potentially leaving and him wanting a contract that the 49ers won't give. I do think, though, that Ricky Pearsall, even if Brandon Ayuk stays, does fit. Because Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, they ran the majority of their routes, or the majority of their snaps out wide. Pearsall was a slot guy at Florida, and he did make more big plays than you think. If it were me and I were the 49ers, if I wanted that type of player, I would have taken Roman Wilson. No bias whatsoever. I've been on record saying that I think Roman Wilson is going to be the best Michigan pro from this draft.
And it makes sense because when you bought the Roman Wilson 49ers jersey to wear, like you have the red flannel on right now. So if you be like your brethren, it would all make sense.
I said that he would be good. I'm not saying that I would want him to be good on the 49ers. I'm glad they didn't take him because, yeah, they're in the way. They were the team that actually went to the Super Bowl. It's just if I were them, I'm putting myself in their shoes, I would have taken Roman Wilson. But good luck to them with Ricky Pearsall. I think with or without Ayuk, there is a role for him. I actually think without Ayuk, Pearsall might be in over his skis.
There was a report earlier today, just reminded me of it, of Deebo Samuel, the Patriots and the 49ers maybe trying to make something work. So maybe Debo's the wide receiver off that roster, but I don't think they can keep all three.
Yeah, they can't have both.
Yeah.
They probably can't have
Yeah.
both. Which got me to thinking, so I did take a look because the Niners are the target, right? Like that's what you're working with. Now, and I was kind of discouraged, I guess you could say, because when you look at the 49ers, and I started taking a look at their draft capital just in terms of what they have coming up, in day 2 and 3. So the 49ers have their second round pick at 63, right? So they have their second round pick at 63. They then have picks 94, 124, 132, and 135.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
All in a row.
It's crazy.
We'll take some of those.
Hey, and they've got, and it's worked for them. They've got a lot of players that are under some hefty contracts. To name a few. I mean, McCaffrey he's not hefty because he's a running back. You got McCaffrey, you got Bosa, you got Kittle, you've got Fred Warner, you've got Trent Williams. So having a lot of potential pieces that you hope draft and become late round steals like Fred Warner and George Kittle and Brock Purdy for that matter they've got a couple of shots at it. So good, I guess good on them. But hopefully they don't work out because they're the 49ers.
And the reason I bring that up was twofold, right? Number one, to talk about it because they are who we're chasing. But number two, and I think that this is somewhat important because I talked about it. I sent a tweet out about it after the Amon-Ra deal got inked, where I said it makes almost me cry, right? Like I almost get a tear down my eye to see my team, the Detroit Lions, tacking on void years to big-time contracts.
Right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
It's like we're doing like real team stuff now. You know what I'm saying?
Big boy stuff.
The cap's not real crowd. They're rejoicing right now because after this deal, like when you hear it and everything, and certainly when he does the restructure too at the end, they'll say, "See, the cap's not real," even though it is. Because they have the void year. They have the void year tacked on to there. But as you look at the 49ers right now, they have all these draft picks. One of the reasons is they have a crap ton of compensatory picks. I believe 4 of them, as a matter of fact. And we're actually responsible for one of them. Because you forget this, right? Because the comp picks work at a year. They trail a year. I believe it's one of the 4th round picks, is actually the Lions signing Emmanuel Mosley.
Makes
that
sense.
The 49ers get a comp pick for. Jimmy Garoppolo is another one. That's one of their 4th round picks that they're getting a comp pick for because of all the money that he signed for when he left. So Flannel, when you look at it, and we'll see this, right? The Lions aren't to that stop on the highway yet, but I look forward to the day when they drill so many drafts that Aleem McNeil might be the first one of this, looking down the road.
That's what it looks like.
Where when he departs, you're going to get a high-level comp pick, and now we're really cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say with the Emmanuel Mosley comp pick, the 49ers have gotten the better of that one
so far. Yeah.
Hopefully he can stay healthy next year, but 2 consecutive ACLs is that's tough. But yeah, it looks like the 49ers, obviously they've got a loaded roster, and this year they're gonna be the favorites in the NFC just because they made the Super Bowl last year. But if you get more kicks at the can, like I said, they've shown a propensity to draft some Hall of Famers in later rounds, so maybe they can do it again. Hopefully not.
Brandon Catspot. Neal's cooking himself. He didn't want the Lions to trade for Chase Young. The trade was no risk for the 49ers because they got a comp pick for him if he left. Right. The reason I didn't want to do that trade, Catspot, is number one, there was no shot you were giving him any kind of long-term extension or anything like that. And the other part of it is the organization doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's all, man.
Takes plays off,
allegedly. You have to be comfortable with this line of thought. You have to be. You got to be comfortable with it, man. What do you got, brother?
And didn't it cost them a 3rd round pick?
It did. They're probably going to get a fourth back.
So Lions 73, which was just used to move up and get Darren Arnold. You got to give and take somewhere.
No, and then that's it. It's just we have to get comfortable with this. Again, with the fantasy footballization of everything and the way everybody operates, that's not how it is. There is a mold that fits. Terrion Arnold fits that mold. I heard him on a microphone for 45 seconds yesterday. Boom, I see it.
Yep.
100% I see it.
Chase Young, and I like Chase Young for the record, but he's clearly not what you would call, or at least it appears that he's not really that Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes guy. And it's clear that they value it, and it's clear that it hasn't steered them wrong so far. I think, honestly, the two things that made me more of a believer were the fact that they didn't get Jalen Carter, and it didn't cost them, and they didn't trade for Chase Young, and it didn't cost them. Mm-hmm. They're still really, really good. And don't get me wrong, I think Chase Young helped the 49ers. However, I'm not upset with the Lions for not going after him, even though at the time I was a little like, I don't know. But they made the NFC Championship game, which some people thought that they wouldn't be able to because they didn't make a move.
IT Hip says the 49ers do not by far have the best roster. The Packers and the Lions both should have beaten them. And IT Hips, you're right. Like, I vibe with you on that. The only difference was the 49ers had the game at home.
That's true.
That's what saved them. They had the game at home, and that's what saved them. But IT Hips, the problem for the Lions now going forward is they're not going to be able to get home field because they have to play J.J. McCarthy twice in the Minnesota Vikings, and we're rooting for them to, quote, go 15-2. Like, that's what Lions fans are rooting for. That's what I was told earlier.
That's why Neal makes the big bucks, people.
No, that's what I was told. Were we not told that, KG? You saw it come across the chat. Did you not see it? Am I making that up?
I kind of saw it, but
no. Did you see it?
I ain't see it the way you saw it, but I saw it.
15-2. He wants him to go, which would cost the Lions home playoff games.
Yeah,
shocking.
Yeah, I'm not on board with that.
This is the water we're in now, everybody. So get comfortable. Get comfortable with it. Where are we at here, Sam Flan? Tell about Dispo.
Dispo, absolutely. How can you not talk about Dispo? It is the best place, most certainly, if you want to get high. Visit Dispo Dispensary today for deals too good to miss. Meet a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere and shopping experience. Try the freshest inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. Come through our stores or order on Dispo Dash today. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports Clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Neal Ruhl here for Woodward Sports Merchandise. Go to woodwardsports.com/shop. All new designs. You a Brad Holmes guy? I know you are after last night because 250,000 of you, almost 1/3 of you, stood and cheered when Brad cooked. So go ahead and get you that Brad Holmes guy t-shirt. The Stoke Not Scared shirt, that's a classic. That one always plays. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. It's all represented. By the way, did you catch that action last night when it dipped into the 30s by the end of the night? It's still hoodie season. Thank God that I had the hoodie on. It's still beanie season. All of it is in play. Go to woodwardsports.com/shop. All right, wrapping the show up here. Day number 2 of the NFL draft. Get yourself downtown. Get in the mix. And I'll tell you this, guys. If you didn't go last night, go down there tonight.
Yeah.
I doubt there's going to be 1/3 people there.
It's still going to be pretty crazy. The Tigers going on across the street, too.
Absolutely. It'll still be wild and stuff like that. But I think, you'll get the flavor of everything that's going on, but at a more contained, a little easier to move around, I guess you could say.
I'll tell you what, though, and this, I think, will encourage people to go tonight. I was kind of in your camp, Neal, to where if I wasn't working it, I probably wouldn't have gone. But when I went down there, not only was it blew away my expectations in terms of the crowd and people just being on their best behavior and it being such a great vibe and the party was awesome. It also wasn't as intimidating as I thought it would be. It also, the parking situation wasn't impossible.
Right.
I'm not saying it was great, and you should make preparations, but it's not like this impossible thing to navigate. And it's definitely going to be easier tonight.
I did the Rivergate garage by the Rensen. It was $15. Prepaid it. They scanned the code. The second spot in the garage, a guy was leaving work and pulled out. I pulled right in.
Perfect.
Like,
it was meant to be.
It was meant to be, man. So it is. It's much easier than you think it is navigating down there. Like if you get, I will say this, if you somehow find your way like in the interior of the city, like the Greektown area, you're effed in. Like you're gridlocked in. Stay to the outside, everybody. But no, it was cool. And then like parked over by the Rensen, walked through the Detroit Grand Prix track because they're building that right now down by that area.
Nice.
They had the grandstands up and everything. Like it was a real city. And I know that sounds bad to say, but I hope you guys know what I mean when I say that. Like we're a legit destination city. We are. I mean, that's another. We talk about like getting comfortable with being with the 49ers and the Eagles. As a city, I think we need to get comfortable with that too, saying we are a destination. I know because we do that and we kind of laugh sometimes. Mm-hmm. But it was a vibe down there, man. It was, again, the Grand Prix track, the entrance to the draft was down over there. You had the Greektown area was bumping. The casinos, obviously, bumping. At the 313 draft party, which we will be, but what time are we on air tonight?
5, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, 6.
I was about to say, like,
Right.
I don't think it's 5.
Yeah,
but,
6,
hey,
my bad.
Yeah.
6 o'clock, Woodward Sports. I'll be tapping in. I'll be on the airplane. I'll still be tapping in.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, me and KG got a block tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Spin the block.
Yeah.
KG on the desk, maybe?
Yeah.
Let's
First time.
go.
Yep.
Woodwardsports.com chat thread, our real cream of wheat. I heard Patrick Mahomes is going to give away his Super Bowl rings to JJ already. He knows.
This has taken on a life of its own, hasn't it? He just had to go to Minnesota.
You know he did.
I don't get that Xavier Worthy pick, by the way.
Hey, I'll tell you what, though. I agree with you. I would have gone somewhere other than Xavier Worthy. So we can do my quick Chiefs fan Sam segment really quick. I'll say this.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. No, all right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I will say this, and I know Brent Veach has only been their GM since 2017, but he was a part of their front office before that. The string of draft picks that they've had in the last decade might be the best decade of drafting ever. Like, you forget, guys like Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, Tyreek Hill even, drafted. And, of course, the guys that they've used to replenish their roster when some guys left. The McDuffies, the Sneads, George Karlaftis, Isaiah Pacheco, Creed Humphrey, Nick Bolton, to name a few. That's how you become a 3-time Super Bowl champion in 10 years. So my point is that trust Brent Veach. He knows something. And all that speed is certainly tantalizing, especially if Mahomes can get you the ball in space.
Tony D says Neal Coward. Now, I think it's Colin Ruhl.
Ooh,
right?
Colin Ruhl. I like that.
No, guys, I'm not putting on a show for you, man. Like, I'm not putting on a – this is the way it is. I hate the Minnesota Vikings. My most hated team in professional sports. Second would probably be the Minnesota Twins, as a matter of fact. I don't have hate for the Timberwolves, though. They're a cute little franchise.
Well, they're in the
Now
West.
they are.
They're in the West.
I hate Rudy Gobert, though. He's horrible.
And he started COVID.
He did start COVID. That is a fact.
No, so, again, sorry, I don't know.
You see Jason Foley there last night? You knew the door was going to be closed as soon as he showed his face.
No doubt. Robert Closia. Flannel, which Michigan player are you hoping the Vikings will take tonight? Mikey Sanders still?
A good pick for them.
I hope that no more Michigan players go to a NFC North rival. Because, like I said, when it comes to a guy like Nico Collins, I want him individually to do well. He plays on the Texans. The only time they could meet the Lions is in the Super Bowl. And obviously they play him once in the regular season.
Don't they play him in like week 14 or something like that this year?
I'm not going to root for usually they don't play the Texans every year. Yeah, they have a meeting in the regular season. It's certainly
Who are you going to root for that game?
I'm going to root for the Lions.
Here you go.
It's certainly though not.
Are you going to root for Nico Collins and the Lions?
No.
Like I have to be brought up to speed on how this works.
Obviously not, but I am happy Nico Collins is developing. because
Alan W. Blake Corum to the Cowboys tonight. Your thoughts, Flannel?
Hell, I hope not.
I don't know if that's necessary. Here's the thing, and this is how I feel about a lot of Michigan players. I don't like Corum the prospect as much as I loved him the player. He might be my favorite Wolverine ever, him or Aiden Hutchinson. But as a prospect, he's a little slow and has a little too much tread on the tire for me.
Mm-hmm.
An injury clearly robbed him of his early on speed, and that scares me a bit. And he's not much of a pass catcher either, and he's small. I mean, short. He's definitely like compact, but as an NFL running back, I just
He'd probably
second
just be
or
a
third
third
round,
down.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he'll probably just be a third down back, unfortunately. But we shall see. I wanted JJ to go to the Raiders, so I would have rooted for him if he was on the AFC team, Neal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you buy a jersey?
Absolutely not.
All right. Hey, that wraps things up. Monday when we reconvene, we'll have all the information. We'll have all the reaction. We will have a huge deep dive into the NFL draft. I'll leave you guys with this for the weekend. For Sam Flannel, for Matt Broder, for KG, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in to Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. I'll leave you with this. F the Minnesota Vikings.
Go out and give you a solo shot. Go ahead.
And let Brad cook. Have a good weekend, everybody.